Good morning. At least it's morning where I'm at. Just another video I thought I'd put up. Kind of been thinking here about my walk with the Lord, and over the years, I turned 64 today. Kind of hard to believe it. 64 years old. Quite honestly, I didn't know that I'd make it this far. Anyway, 64. This is June 12th. But anyway, yeah. Look back over my life, kind of doing a little reminiscing today about things and how my life's gone and how things have turned out. That kind of thing. One thing we don't really talk about a whole lot about when it comes to spiritual maturity is our own development, our own spiritual development, or development as far as our emotional development, mental development, this kind of thing. A few months ago, I got involved in a movie. You may not realize this, but I was involved in a movie. It was my first time ever to be in a movie or television. I've never been on television myself. But I actually got approached by the one that was heading the movie up to play a part. And make a long story short, I was very nervous about it. I did not jump at the chance. I turned her down 3 times. Finally, my wife said, "Look, why don't you just do it? You're going to enjoy it." It's always been my desire to get into movies. And I don't know why. I don't know where that desire came from. Maybe the Lord gave it to me. I don't know. But I could never figure out how to marry ministry and movies together. I guess the opportunity never really came my way anyway. But all of a sudden, here it was. And so I went ahead and took the part. Didn't do a great job. I'm not real happy with the job I did, but it is what it is. I was really nervous. But anyway, the Lord told me, spoke to me later through a friend, and then he said something different to me. But I didn't particularly, not really thrilled with the job I did in the movie. I think I already said that. But anyway, so a friend of mine, she came out one day. She was staying with us for a few months. A friend of ours, Graciela. She's from Brazil. And anyway, she came out she said, you may not like what happened. You may not like transpired, but she said, it's going to open doors for you. And I really got to thinking about it. And I just kind of took that word. And then later, probably a few weeks later, the Lord just spoke to me. He says, you've been asking for an increase in influence. And this is the way I chose to do it. And he said, look at it this way. He said, you were uncomfortable doing this. This was out of your comfort zone. But isn't that how growth occurs? When the Lord gets us out of our comfort zone, right? That's the way we mature. That's the way we change. We grow. We develop. It's when we're forced outside of our comfort zone. And so I really began to think about this. And I can tell you, through my entire life, there have been seasons where the Lord has thrown me into situations that I never could have dreamed would happen. I could have never dreamed they were possible. Way outside my comfort zone. I mean, way out. But it's for our own development. It's for our own advancement. That the Lord wants to do this. It's not where we're doing it. I mean, we can take steps in that area. I mean, I've just come to a place where I've just lost 100 pounds in excess weight. 100 pounds. That's a lot. Those of you who are in Europe and Africa, I understand you go by a different weight measurement. You have to look that up. I don't know how many kilograms that is. You have to look it up. It's a lot of weight. And yeah, it took me way out of my comfort zone. Way out. Cutting out a lot of different kinds of stuff that I used to eat. I mean, I used to eat chips by the bag full. I mean, potato chips and Doritos by the bag full. I mean, the big bags. I'd have ice cream all the time. I would have chocolate bars all the time. All this stuff, And what this weight loss program taught me to do was start disciplining myself to make the changes that were necessary to make, that had to be made. It was not easy, I'm telling you. My flesh said I wanted to go back to the old ways. And I have, today I picked up an omelet for my wife and I. She ordered an omelet, I ordered an omelet. And I had to say no to the hash browns. I had to say no to the home fries that we normally get with that, because I'm still working on losing more weight. It wasn't easy to do, but I said no to it. I stuck to my guns. I said no to it because weight loss, the weight that I was at, I had severe apnea, and I knew I did. And I was at risk of dying in my sleep. I would wake up in the middle of the night gasping for breath because I had been without breathing for quite a while. My wife was really concerned about it. She said, Pat, she says, you're stopping. You literally quit breathing in the middle of the night. And until recently, she herself was on a CPAP. Now myself, I don't think I'd ever get used to something being covered in my face while I'm trying to sleep, so I didn't go that route. But praise God, the weight loss, the sleep apnea has fixed itself, and my wife's no longer having to use the CPAP either, because she's down right at, I think, 50 pounds, something like that. But anyway, I mean, this whole thing we've been through is about growth. Getting out of our comfort zone, personal development, and all that. The Lord doesn't want us in stagnation. He wants us to grow, mature, develop, all these things. And a lot of times, even in ministry, we can get stagnant in ministry, where we're no longer pushing the boundaries. We're just staying in that safe, comfortable space, and we wonder why we're not growing spiritually. That's part of it. That's a big reason why. Because we allow ourselves to just sit, and we don't try to allow the Lord to bring that development He wants to bring that maturity He wants to bring. There's two areas of maturity. There's the area of maturity when it comes to the believer. There's the area of maturity when it comes to the ministry. And I say believer because, I mean, every real minister is a believer, obviously. I'm not one of these that make a big distinction and a big thing about separation of lay people versus non-lay people, ministers and all that. I don't subscribe to that mess. I don't fault the ones that do, because it's just not me. I'm an ordained minister and all that, but that won't get me a cup of coffee. For what it's worth. It's a piece of paper, what it is. But anyway, just got to thinking about this. There's a lot of times the Lord wants to get us to grow and mature, and we're resisting. For whatever reason, we're resisting that development because we like things the way they are, and we like the, some of us really don't like change. I'm kind of one of those people. Don't like a lot of change. But anyway, that was something I wanted to talk to you guys about today. We really appreciate you guys watching these videos. Those of you that have started following us on Facebook, Omega Ministries International. Anyway, I just wanted to leave that with you. I know you guys, a lot of you are wanting to, you're wanting us to come and minister and this kind of stuff, especially over in Africa and India. We're getting all these invitations and everything, but at this point in time, it's not really that feasible for us to do all that. And I'm sorry for that, but that's just kind of the way things are right now, because our plates are just full of what we're involved with right now. I do a lot of ministry locally, and we're working with a couple of churches locally, as well as ministries, and we just got a lot going on right now. I'm not able to do the travel right now that we're being asked to do, and I'm not able to do the travel right now that to the degree that I used to do it. I used to do a lot of travel. Maybe at some point that will change. At some point, I am looking at possibly doing some stuff with Zoom. I think there's other platforms out there that may work better for that. I'm not sure. I've got Riverside, but I haven't even really cracked it open yet to really take a look at what it's capable of. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. You guys have a blessed day, and we love you. And until next time, have an awesome day.